You're going to want to sit down for this one. Megyn Kelly just ended the careers of three major future Democrat figures, and it's for how fake their entire persona even is. Starting from their accents, just take a look at this before I tell you what it really means.
AOC, okay, her real name is Sandy Ocasio. This is what she went by her entire life, Sandy Ocasio. And only when she decided to run for office did she decide to suddenly become Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Here is how she normally sounds when she's speaking and not thinking about who's listening or trying to fool anybody.
When Donald Trump tapped into this idea of make America great again, there was times of economic opportunity. Wages rose until the 1970s.
They should have taught her at Boston University. There were times. She was right. You got to get that subject verb agreement. I know it's tough, Sandy. Work on it. That's her, though, sounding relatively normal. Then there's a different version that we've heard a lot more of a lot recently.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't
There's nothing wrong
with
working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy.
And I, for one,
we know,
am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life.
Is this what the party has in store for 2028? Listen, the Democrats have an inauthenticity problem in their leadership class right now, and let me tell you exactly why that is. You don't need to fake accents to relate to different groups of people when you rise up through a genuinely populist bottom-up movement in your party. And no matter how many times the likes of AOC shout and rile up crowds momentarily, it's going to fizzle out at the ballot box like it did in November. By the way, we're showing the mirror to those powerful elites like no one else, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to become a part of the movement. Now, go as far back as a decade ago and you realize this Democrat obsession with foisting a top-down leadership onto people and only then working to close that gap was even a fatal mistake with none other than Hillary Clinton.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
And that's why she simply fell off in 2016, because that was the year when both the major political parties in the US finally found a populist movement to challenge the establishments with Donald Trump on the right and Bernie Sanders on the left. But only one of them was allowed to rise up through the ranks while the other was shoved back down in favor of the same old rotten establishment that now tries and fails to relate with the common people. It seems like the Democrats are gearing up for the same fatal mistake in the next election.
This woman, all over the news these days, the new spokesperson for the Democrat Party, and we all hope the future of it. Here is Jasmine Crockett as recently as 2023, again, sounding like a normal person.
My mind, I'm thinking, I just got to Austin and I had to beat 5 people to get here. It's a huge responsibility. You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat.
Kind of cute, excited, optimistic, normal hair, normal eyelashes, and probably normal nails, though they weren't shown in that clip. Flash forward to today's day and age and more recently, and we've done a 180.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off. Now, I am tired of the white tears.
There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. That it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed.
If you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
Stop being Putin's hoe. Unfortunately, we had an opportunity to have a woman lead this country, and I promise you she would have led us to the promised land. But instead, we got somebody that seems like he want to take us to hell and back again.
We have someone that is occupying the White House, and as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your ass. You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out, all right?
Ooh.
Y'all about to find out, all right? And do I need to say it again? As I will. She sounds absolutely nothing like she used to, you guys. Nothing.
Absolutely priceless. And that forced and fake accent makes anyone see straight through the act. We're in the era of raw authenticity in politics right now. And that's why someone as brash and unfiltered as Donald Trump has still managed to win out the carefully constructed facade of the leadership on the left. Now, when it comes to someone like Jasmine Crockett, it blows my mind that she's now being prepared to take over the party mantle in 2028, which is basically making the same mistake the Democrats made in the last 3 elections. Nobody wants to be talked down to anymore. Nobody in the party's base wants to be patronized like this with fake accents to try and appeal to them. They want the party to become a channel for their genuine working class struggles and frustrations and use that momentum to strike down the old, decadent establishment system that it has all resulted from. Yet, of course, we don't see any sign of that happening because you can't talk about fake political personas if you don't mention Kamala Harris.
No segment like this would be complete without our 4th candidate. And honestly, she's probably got the inside track, and you'll see why. Here she was, sounding normal.
Let's talk about respecting the American people. You respect the American people when you tell them the truth. You respect the American people when you have the courage to be a leader speaking of those things that you may not want people to hear, but they need to hear.
Note how she said courage and hear, where we had R's being used properly. And yet, when she ran for president, having been passed the baton by Joe Biden, very, very different sounding. Here it is.
Have you no empathy, man? You know, for the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose?
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave.
You better.
You better thank a union member for vacation time. You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
We go.
Hello to all my divine 9 brothers and sisters. And my soror.
This is a margin of error race. It's tight. I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
God.
But it's tight.
Oh, my God.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
It's like nails on a chalkboard with that fake accent and the condescending voice. And it's a window into why so many people are just turned off to everything the Democrats were selling in this election, including the leadership class and its policy positions. It's incredible that instead of seeing a reverse gear on this failed strategy, we're seeing more political characters of the same archetype be propped up for future elections. But tell me in the comments what you think about this, because so far it just sounds like a recipe for another disaster for the Democrats.